why he killed her.
She used to live in my house, or my apartment, for a while.
Was she a friend?
She was, until she started stealing stuff out of the house. I asked her, why are you stealing? And she said, "I needed money." And I said, "You have a bank account." I was paying her $4.25 an hour just to clean the apartment.
So she was thieving from you?
She was taken from me and my wife, Rose.
Does that warrant killing her?
Huh?
Does that warrant killing her?
Well, to me it did.
Amidst the haunting shadows of Rochester, New York, a sinister figure once roamed, leaving a trail of devastation in his wake. A predator with no remorse, no conscience, who preyed upon the vulnerable and shattered countless lives. In this chilling video, we'll take a tour into the twisted mind of Arthur Shawcross, the infamous Genesee River killer. Arthur Shawcross was born in 1945 in Kittery, Maine, but spent most of his childhood in Watertown, New York. Plagued by a troubled upbringing, Shawcross would later claim that he was subjected to abuse and neglect at the hands of his parents. However, these claims remain unsupported.
What did your mother do?
My mother gave me oral sex. She performed oral sex on me for several years. Then when I was 14 years old, I did intercourse and I ran away.
As a young man, Shawcross struggled to find his footing, dropping out of school and engaging in petty crimes. Eventually, he enlisted in the U.S. Army, serving a tour in Vietnam. It was during this time that Shawcross would later allege that he committed his first murders, though these accounts have never been verified. Upon his return to the United States, Shawcross's dark path would become evident. In 1972, he brutally murdered 2 children in separate incidents, forever changing the fabric of their families and the community. He was arrested, convicted, and sentenced to 25 years in prison for these heinous acts. Yet, in a twist of fate that would haunt the city of Rochester, Shawcross was released on parole in 1987 after serving just 14 years. As the predator walked free, no one could have predicted the reign of terror that was about to unfold. In the late 1980s, Rochester, New York, became the hunting ground for the Genesee River killer. Sex workers were targeted, brutally murdered, and their bodies dumped near the banks of the river. Fear gripped the city as the death toll climbed, reaching 11 known victims. The killer's manner of carrying out his crimes was brutal and sadistic, with each murder demonstrating a chilling level of savagery. As law enforcement scrambled to identify the killer and put an end to the violence, the city remained paralyzed in fear. In January 1990, the nightmare finally came to an end. Arthur Shawcross was arrested while attempting to dispose of a body near the Genesee River. The chilling truth was then revealed. The man who had once ruthlessly murdered 2 children was now responsible for a string of unspeakable crimes. Shawcross's trial was, of course, a media sensation, as the horrifying details of his crimes were laid bare. He was convicted and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The Genesee River killer's reign of terror was finally over. Shawcross's final years were spent in confinement, where he gave multiple interviews and shared his disturbing worldview.
His childhood, there are allusions to his running away from home. The abuse at home would seem to have been so severe that he had good reason to run away.
He also stood out at school.
He was considered very peculiar by his teachers, and he would hide under the radiator or hide under the teacher's desk, and he couldn't relate to other children in a normal fashion.
He was constantly getting into fights and getting into trouble.
I was a hellraiser.
He got on the school bus with a lead pipe, and he threatened the other children there. This is not just being aggressive, this is really being violent.
I did something wrong. I put it on a shelf, closed the door.
He passed away in 2008, leaving behind a legacy of darkness that will forever be engraved into the memories of those affected by his actions. Shawcross's death brought little consolation to the families of his victims, who must live with the painful void left by their loved ones. Throughout his incarceration, Shawcross exhibited no remorse for his crimes, often blaming his actions on traumatic experiences or attempting to justify his behavior. His chilling demeanor served as a stark reminder of the evil that can lurk within the most seemingly ordinary individuals. The tale of Arthur Shawcross, the Genesee River killer, serves as a haunting reflection of the fragility of our justice system and the potential consequences of its failures. The early release of a man capable of such heinous acts raises important questions about rehabilitation, parole, and the safety of our communities. This story also highlights the importance of vigilance and community engagement in the face of danger. If you found this exploration of the Genesee River Killer gripping, please like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to join us as we continue to uncover the stories of those who have cast a shadow on our world.